that clean, healthy and functional environment is integral to the enjoyment of human rights, such as the rights to life, health, food and adequate standard of living. Indubitably, climate change will have a profound effect on the enjoyment of human rights for individuals and communities globally. This is not merely an abstract assumption or a future possibility. According to UNEP in their report, and I quote, "The impacts of climate change on freshwater resources, ecosystems and human settlements are already undermining access to clean water, food, shelter and other basic human needs, interfering with livelihoods and displacing people from their homes. These impacts constitute a serious interference with the exercise of fundamental human rights, such as rights to life, health, water, food, housing and adequate standard of living." No one here can deny that there is an inseparable nexus between climate change and human rights. Our Constitution authorizes our constitutional courts to directly deal with enforcement of fundamental rights. Our constitutional values provide that principles of democracy, freedom, equality of opportunity, social, political and economic justice shall be fully observed. Our fundamental rights or human rights provide for life, right to life, right to dignity, right to non-discrimination, right to movement, right to information, right to property or right against its deprivation. Pakistan has had a telling and a robust experience with environmental rights. Years of judicial engineering has intricately weaved through purposive and progressive interpretation international environmental principles with our constitutional values and fundamental rights, and generated jurisprudence that protects and safeguards nature. At the heart of this jurisprudence is the new constitutionalism, a blend of human rights and international environmental principles, with a singular purpose to safeguard and protect nature, and especially the marginalized people, including women, children, and those falling below the poverty line. In not more than 2 decades, our courts, starting from Shelazia in 1994, down to Imrana Tivana in 2016, and now to Maple Leaf in 2018, have been loud and clear that environmental rights and international environmental principles are an integral part of our constitutional values, fundamental rights and principles of policy, and can be enforced by the constitutional courts as fundamental rights. The growth of environmental jurisprudence is in effect the story of constitutionalization of the environmental rights. Additionally, this judicialization of environmental rights is to us environmental justice. In Imrana Tivana, 2016, a full bench of this court for the first time referred to the concept of environmental justice in the following words. And I'm pleased that all the members of the full bench, Justice Yawari, now the Chief Justice, and Justice Asha Malik sit here. We were the 3 members on the bench, and I quote from the judgment: "The corpus of environmental laws have a singular purpose of protecting life and nature. To us, environmental justice is an amalgam of the constitutional principles of democracy, equality, social, economic and political justice guaranteed under the Constitution, and the fundamental rights to life, liberty and human dignity, which include international environment principles of sustainable development, precautionary principle, environmental impact assessment, intergenerational equity and public trust doctrine." Environmental jurisprudence or environmental justice in Pakistan, however, remained grounded in fundamental rights and stood anchored within the statutory framework of our environmental protection law. The matrix of environmental justice remained confined to the polluter, the aggrieved party and the Environmental Protection Agency. Environmental justice is therefore geographically confined within the national boundaries, and so are the parties
का महल्लाती इंसाफ कॉन्फ्रेंस से खिताब फंडामेंटल राइट्स की अहमियत से उन्होंने उजागर किया। कहा कि इंसानी हुकूक में सबसे बड़ा और अहम किरदार क्लाइमेट चेंज का है। साफ पानी, खुराक और बुनियादी जरूरियात, स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लाइफ, रिहाइश के लिए जगह बुनियादी हुकूक का हिस्सा है।